So, morning track, and if you're a distinguished guest, Mac Work, if either of you happen to ever watch this video, I figured to take 10 minutes or so of video rather than the wall of text required for my comments. Your video on the King George V class was phenomenal. I think the King George V battleships stand up well, both in the terms of their contemporaries and the follow-on ships. I don't know that the U.S. fast battleships were really markedly superior in any way to King George V's or Vanguards. It's just a very different design philosophy and operational limitations. But when we're talking about the Prince of Wales, you mentioned the Vittorio Veneto and the similar torpedo hit that she sustained that actually caused a similar level of damage and flooding, particularly to the engine rooms. I think had the Vittorio Veneto been in the same circumstances the Prince of Wales found herself in, I do believe that the result would have been the same, and the Veneto herself escaped just by sheer luck more than anything else. Had the Greek destroyers in the Corinth Canal given the go-ahead to press in a night action, I think that she would have found herself afoul of torpedo attack at night, and I don't think that would have gone well for her at all given her reduced speed and capacity. Or had the British pressed on for another maybe hour into the night and fought a night action against the Veneto, I don't think she would have survived either. But worth noting is also the peripheral hit to the Bismarck deserves the same kind of attention. Just one of those golden BB moments that damages otherwise intact ship to the point where, in the Bismarck's case, fouled the rudder to the extent that the British were able to catch her. But something I want to bring up in regard to aircraft attack and battleships, the grotesque oversimplification that the aircraft made the battleship obsolete, I think, is entirely unfair. And in the cases where you have modern battleships, the Prince of Wales is Exhibit A for this in the early war period, but in the later war period, the Japanese losing the Yamato and Musashi to concentrated aerial attack with no air cover whatsoever and limited anti-aircraft support are not in any way an indictment of the battleship as a class or a design concept, because none of their contemporaries faced anywhere near that level of sustained aerial attack with no defense. And looking at the U.S. battleships in particular, their main use was as anti-aircraft support for aircraft carriers, kind of given, even with that cursory, gross oversimplification, the idea that battleships were helpless against aircraft is highly, highly overstated. Because in all cases where you have capital ships coming under sustained air attack with no air cover, it's more the sustained nature of the engagement rather than any particular amount of single hit damage that dooms the ship. And I think the contrast that you made between the Vittorio Veneto and Prince of Wales illustrates this rather significantly. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. And here in the States, it's Thanksgiving, so everybody's getting ready to stuff ourselves with ungodly amounts of food. But thank you for your time, and have a good one.